What if Monkey D. Luffy, instead of chasing the One Piece, became a bounty hunter? Imagine if every villain, pirate, and warlord he defeated actually paid off in cold, hard berries. How much money would Luffy have collected by now? Today, we're breaking down every major fight, every big-name opponent, and adding up the numbers to reveal just how insanely rich our future Pirate King would be if he cashed in like a true bounty hunter. Here's how we're going to do this. We'll go through each saga of One Piece, list out the enemies Luffy defeated, and take the official bounty numbers where available. If an enemy doesn't have a bounty, we'll note it, but stick mostly to confirmed figures. By the end, we'll add everything up and see if Luffy would have been richer than the Celestial Dragons themselves. Spoiler alert, the number gets absolutely wild. Let's start right where it all began, the East Blue Saga. This is the foundation of Luffy's journey, where he built his first crew members and faced off against some of the most notorious local villains. First up, Buggy the Clown. At the time, Buggy wasn't the Yonko commander we know now. His first bounty was only 15 million berries. That's pocket change by New World standards, but it's a start. Then we have Arlong, the brutal fishman pirate who terrorized Nami's home. His bounty was 20 million berries. Back then, that was one of the highest in East Blue. So by the end of East Blue, bounty hunter Luffy would have pocketed around 35 million berries. Not bad for a rookie. Moving to Alabasta, Luffy faced real challenges. He fought Mr. Five, whose bounty was 10 million. But the real prize here was Crocodile, one of the 7 warlords of the sea. Crocodile had a bounty of 81 million berries before it was frozen. If Luffy had cashed in, he'd be up to about 126 million berries total by this point. Next stop, Skypiea. Now, here's the tricky part. Enel, the self-proclaimed god, never had a bounty because he ruled in the sky, not the seas. But Oda himself once said Enel's bounty would have been 500 million if he were on the Blue Sea. So for fun, we'll count it. That rockets Luffy's total to around 626 million berries. Also, I would add that we are missing one stubborn character who Luffy defeats just before reaching to Skypiea. And yes, you are right, it is Bellamy. Luffy defeats Bellamy by punching him out in a single, powerful blow, a punch that sends Bellamy to the ground. His bounty was 55 million berries at that time. Enies Lobby is where Luffy really made history by declaring war on the world government. But CP9 agents like Rob Lucci and Bluno never had bounties because they worked directly for the government. So technically, there's nothing for Luffy to collect here. On Thriller Bark, Luffy took down another warlord, Gecko Moria, who carried a bounty of 320 million berries. That's a huge jump in earnings. With Moria added, Luffy's bounty hunter wallet would be sitting at about 946 million berries. During Sabaody and Marineford, Luffy clashed with pacifistas, admirals, and even warlords. But here's the catch. He didn't actually defeat most of them, and pacifistas don't carry bounties, so nothing to add here. This is where bounty hunter Luffy would have had a dry spell. On Fishman Island, Luffy defeated Hody Jones and his crew. Unfortunately, none of them had official bounties, so again, no payout. If Luffy was a bounty hunter, he probably would have been frustrated at this arc. Then came Caesar Clown, the mad scientist, with a bounty of 300 million. Adding that brings the running total to about 1.246 billion berries. In Dressrosa, Luffy brought down Don Quixote Doflamingo, a fallen warlord, with a bounty of 340 million. That bumps his total to roughly 1.586 billion berries. Now things get insane. Luffy fought 2 of Big Mom's top commanders. First, Charlotte Cracker, worth 860 million berries. Then the fan favorite, Charlotte Katakuri. with a staggering 1.057 billion bounty. With both added, Luffy's collected bounty jumps to about 3.5 billion berries. And finally, the big one. Kaido, one of the 4 emperors with a jaw-dropping bounty of 4.611 billion berries. Adding Kaido's bounty alone more than doubles everything else combined. Luffy's grand total as a bounty hunter would be around 8.169 billion berries. So, if Luffy had been a bounty hunter instead of a pirate, he would have collected over 8 billion berries in rewards. That's enough to buy multiple kingdoms, build fleets, or probably throw the biggest party the Grand Line has ever seen. But here's the real question for you. What do you think Luffy would actually do with that money? Would he spend it on endless meat feasts, share it with his crew, or something else? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and do tell if we left out some enemies that Luffy defeated. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe to Crunchy Flicks, and wait for more videos.